And I want to talk about that because I had a major revelation for my business that made me more money and more productive this year, and it's going to make me a ton more money in the next 10 years. Until this year, I thought that I'd been focusing on revenue. I'd taken my sales training, I'd applied it to my business, I'd applied the focus on revenue to my business. At least that's what I thought, but I didn't realize that I could do better until I read the book The One Thing by Gary Keller. And I strongly recommend you go ahead and read this book. I don't do a ton of book recommendations because most books are not useful, but this one is the best book I've read on productivity in your business. Or you can just do what I did, and read the a free summary, which I've got a link to on my website. Gary Keller is the guy who built Keller Williams Real Estate brokerage, which is massive. Okay, this isn't some generic jerk off business coach. This guy's like a legit winner who's made a fortune, and it shows in his book. It shows in the skill level that he's able to convey, in the way that he's able to describe the problems that you have as an entrepreneur. It's absolutely the best book I've read on business productivity. And the way he breaks it down, he starts with the 80-20 rule, which is also known as Pareto's Law. Pareto's Law means on average 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Okay, I've noticed this to be true in every business that I've worked on. But that's, standard business book terminology. Everyone talks about Pareto's Law. But what Gary does, his innovation is, I'll let him speak for himself. What he says is, what Pareto started, you've got to finish. Success requires that you follow the 80-20 principle, but you don't have to stop there. Keep going. Take that 20% of the 20% of the 20% and continue until you get to the single most important thing. Okay? I had to reread that a couple times until it really sunk in. But what he's saying is, take the 20% of your efforts that get 80% of your results, and find what the most profitable thing of those 20% efforts are, and focus on that relentlessly over everything else. Okay? That's completely revolutionary to me, because I was focusing on my 20%, but my 20% was like 4, 5, 6 things. Not until I figured out, okay, focus on my one thing, put more time into that, less time into the other things. And it only makes sense that my income is going to increase by doing that. He goes on to explain, contrary to what most people believe, success is not a marathon of disciplined action. Achievement doesn't require you to be a full-time disciplined person where your every action is trained and where you're in control of every situation. And that, to me, again, was another revelation, because I'm a perfectionist and I'm trying to control a million things in my business. I've got 10 different service providers, from site design to site optimization to SEO to writing new articles, releasing new products, to back-end projects. I've got a million things that go into making this business, and I was trying to be a master of them all. I was trying to stay on top of everything, and it's really difficult. And so that really made a lot of sense to me. Okay, I don't have to be a master at everything. I can focus relentlessly on one thing, and I can achieve success and more money by doing that. So the way to find your one thing, Gary recommends using this question. He says, what's the one thing I can do right now which will make everything else easier or unnecessary? With that said, that's where Gary and I disagree. And because I'm not very good at listening to people, I have to find what works for me. I tried this question and I couldn't find a clear answer. But because the primary purpose of my business is making a profit, not making things easier, I realized that that's the question I need to ask. Okay, I love you guys to death. I feel incredibly blessed to do what I do. This is the most I've ever enjoyed any business, any job, anything I've ever worked on. I feel like this is my mission in life. When you guys send me a nice email or a nice YouTube comment saying that I helped you, or thanking me for this and that, that literally makes my fucking day. I'm not joking with you. With that said, this is a business, and business and profit has to be my primary motive, because if it's not, my business is not going to survive. Not only is it not going to survive, it's not going to thrive, and I won't be able to keep helping people. And I want to live a comfortable, happy life that I feel that I deserve. And so profit has to be my primary purpose, and it has to be your primary purpose as well, because the world runs on money. You can't live a comfortable and happy life without money. It's very difficult. So you owe it to yourself to get paid. You are the CEO of You Incorporated, so it's your duty to do what's in the best interest of your primary shareholder, which is you. Therefore, the money question is, what's the most profitable thing I can possibly do? When I asked myself that question, I got an immediate answer, which was release more products. Okay, let me explain. There are 6 things I can do in my business to make more money. Number 1, charge more. Number 2, promote my products more. Number 3, increase my traffic. Number 4, promote my affiliate links more. Number 5, increase the conversion rates on my sales pages. And number 6, release more products. Of those 6, releasing products is the most profitable thing I can do, at least where I am now. All those other avenues are useful, but they're already maxed out. I don't want to charge any more for my books. They're not completely within my control. Traffic, although I might change my one thing in the future to more traffic if I feel that's going to be the most profitable thing. You can always change your one thing when you have access to new information that next one thing is going to be your most profitable one thing. Or potentially damaging to my brand, spam blasting you guys with affiliate links, promoting affiliate links that are of low quality will hurt my brand. So that's not something I can do. So of those 20% of those efforts that create 80% of my results, the most important one is releasing new products. And the way I put that into action was I block off 3 hours a day in the morning, which is my most productive prime time, from 9 a.m. till noon. I'm on intermittent fasting. I don't eat till noon. I take a caffeine pill in the morning to get me going. 9 a.m. till noon. That's my prime time. And that's when I work on creating new products. In the past, I would, take breaks between books, and then I would set an aggressive target for finishing a book in 3 months. I would work 13 hours a day. I would take Tramadol to give me energy and focus, and just bang my head against the wall for 3 months to get the fucking book out. Not the most healthy way to do things, and not the way that I'm going to be doing things moving forward in the future. So, in the past, I wanted to get 2 books out a year. I would do 3 months focusing on articles, then 3 months focusing on the book. Then my articles would suffer when I'm focusing on the book. But now I don't take time off from books. I just do try and get out 2 books or 2 products a year if I'm going to do a video course. And I focus 6 months on each particular product, 3 hours per day in the morning, which is my productive prime time. So 1, I'm a lot more relaxed. I don't have a crunch time for my book. Number 2, I'm a lot more productive, because those 3 hours in the morning are equal to 6 hours of regular time. Not only that, but if you're working 12, 13 hours a day for knowledge work, I found that the last couple hours of the day were garbage. I'd have to rewrite the parts of the book anyways. So in essence, I have, instead of doing books on 3 months, I'm doing them on 6 months. I'm doubling my productivity, so I'm calmer, more productive, and I'm making more money because I'm getting that book out quicker, and I'm able to do more articles at the same time. this has been huge for me. And what I'm doing is instead of um, making my focus getting every task done, I'm accepting a certain amount of chaos. So I'm accepting tasks pile up in my wonder list that aren't getting done because they don't affect my revenue. Okay, I'm always tweaking my site. I'm still a perfectionist, but I say, okay, that's something we can do when I get time for it, and something we can do after the priorities are taken care of. So first 3 hours of the day working on the book, then I'm going to get my article out for the week or try to, and then I can focus on the other tasks that are um, going to help my business but aren't the primary priorities. However, I will occasionally switch tasks. Um, for example, I just did a site traffic upgrade where I went through and SEO'd all my posts, and I made that my primary priority for a week or so. So I'm able to flip things up like that. Again, when you come across new information, don't hesitate to make that your one thing. It doesn't have to be the same thing all the time.